first mover has a lot of advantages. It also has many challenges because you actually have to pave your own path. It doesn't already exist. You don't know which way to go, what's the right way, and it takes a long time. That's what has been extremely challenging. But when it comes to leading from the heart, I feel that it's a choice you have to make. It's a choice to really stay connected to your real authentic self, because it's very easy to put on armor when it comes to building business, working with people, and working from keeping the heart open also means that you will be hurt and you feel all the joys and lots of sorrows and all the pain because you are so emotionally invested.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Quantum Shift. I'm your host Saloni Singh, a life coach for conscious leaders, CEOs, and entrepreneurs who are ready to elevate their consciousness level and lead from higher self and purpose. And today I want to talk about heart. As they say that the biggest distance a human being travels is from their mind to their heart. And if we talk about business, where it's all driven by numbers, targets, deadlines, bottom line, top line, leading from your heart, being a heart centered leader could be quite tough. I'm sure it's not an easy task. Today, I'm so thrilled to be joined by Rashi Narang, who is the founder and visionary for a beloved pet brand, Heads Up for Tails. Heads Up for Tails now have more than 100 stores in India and 2 stores in Singapore and a wonderful presence online. But it's not just about having a successful business. It's so much more than that. When I met Rashi for the first time, I felt she's such a loving, caring person, and she's living these values in the business as well. I think it's not easy to run a business from a place of heart and soul. And being successful while living these spiritual values, Rashi has somehow proved that success and compassion can not just coexist, but actually thrive together. Because her business is a testament of living from spiritual values, a higher vision, and purpose. And they also have a Huft Foundation, which takes care that pets and the animals, they have a kinder place in this world. And her purpose and vision, though I would love to hear from Rashi, but I have understood, is to make a better place for animals in this world. So welcome to the show, Rashi.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me here, Dr. Saloni.
I'm so glad to have you, Rashi. And I think there is nobody better than this you to have a conversation on heart-centered leadership. And I can imagine that it's not easy, especially in a world of business where it's always you're balancing profitability and purpose and
Yeah.
so many demands of running, a business. It's relentless pressure, I can imagine, right? So I would love to hear all about the challenges that you go through, Rashi, in your day-to-day life in running this business. But let's start with, for our listeners who don't know maybe anything about Heads Up for Tails and you, what inspired you to start a brand which is so deeply rooted in compassion and love for animals?
Sure, of course. Let's go back to the start.
Yeah.
My business was inspired by my own dog. Her name was Sarah. And even though I've grown up with dogs, she was my first dog after I got married. And I was really the primary caretaker, the parent to her, versus being a child in a home that always had dogs. And I just realized that there were such few options available for our furry family members to live their best lives in terms of products, whether it was on the nutrition side, whether it was on um, bedding, toys, accessories, grooming. And it was her, she inspired me to start. And all of this whole journey has been walked by me and my team as pet parents more than business women and men. And I think that is what makes all the difference. We're trying to bring the change that we want to see in this space every single
Wow.
day, and it really has been an incredible journey.
Oh wow, what an incredible story. Yeah. So solving the problem you yourself had, right?
Yes.
This is so wonderful. So let's come to when it comes to creating a profitable business. And what are the common challenges that you face? And while you really want to lead from love, that's what I'm hearing.
Right. of course, business is tough, right?
It is.
There are so many
Yeah.
things that are challenging, that are also out of control, right? Economic environment, government policies, there's so much at play, right? What's going on in the economy? Where are we as a society in terms of, adapting particular product or understanding it or consuming it? And so I think our biggest challenges have really been around setting up and building awareness around the industry, actually creating the consumer, creating the product, building the back end, the front end, all of it. It was really a wide space when I started. And so, while first mover has a lot of advantages, it also has many, many challenges, because you actually have to pave your own path.
Yeah.
It doesn't already exist. You don't know which way to go, what's the right way, and it takes a long time. So I think that's what has been extremely challenging. But when it comes to leading from the heart, I feel that it's a choice you have to make. It's a choice to really stay connected to your real authentic self, because it's very easy to put on armor when it comes to building business, working with people. And working from, keeping the heart open also means that you will be hurt, and you feel all the joys and lots of sorrows and all the pain, because you are so emotionally invested, right? But I think it's a choice that I've made, that, and I don't think I know any other way, but to lead from the heart. And many times it leaves you feeling, not the best. But I think I consciously choose that I want to continue to see the best in people. I want to continue to trust people. I want to see the best that the world has to offer, and stay connected to the more hopeful, optimistic side of life of people, so that we can shine bright there versus focusing on the darker side.
Oh, that's so lovely. But let's go to the real grind here,
Yeah.
Rashi. So you said that of course it's difficult. It's
Yeah.
difficult and you want to stay like that.
Yeah.
Is it really being vulnerable? What is it that help you stay true to these values? How do you manage, because now you have big team?
Yes.
How do you make sure that the culture also runs in the company? Do
Yeah.
you feel there is certain way you have
Yeah.
created this kind of culture? Does it include vulnerability? Does it include like every single day you have to make that choice?
Yeah.
Even when stakes are
Right.
high, because I'm sure
Right.
in a business like yours,
Absolutely.
there will be times when it's crisis, when it's challenges.
Yes.
How do you manage all that?
I think vulnerability is a very wonderful, powerful word. And I think that it comes with being human. So, yes, I'm very vulnerable in front of my team. I let them know what the highs and lows are, where I'm struggling. I think it's about being transparent with your team versus not. And all of us, I think if we can just continue to be human, then we can all come together to overcome anything that is coming our way. And when I say continue to be human, I mean understand that the human process is messy, it is constant transformation, it is confusion, it is anxiety, it is finding our way, it is getting lost, it is falling down, it is getting up. And I think that is the journey.
The full
And
chaos.
the full
full
chaos,
catastrophe.
right? That is the journey of being
Yeah.
human, of being vulnerable, versus trying to say everything is perfect in my life, everything is, I am so strong that I can manage anything. And of course, we all want to get to that place. But I think being open and honest with your team creates that culture. And culture is something that I'm very deeply passionate about. I really feel there's a very famous quote that says, "Culture eats strategy for breakfast," and I really
Yes.
believe in it, because
love
no
that.
matter what ambition you may have as a person, as a team, as a company, unless you have the right culture to get there, I don't think that you can ever really achieve your goals. And so we're very mindful about building the right culture. And that is, you never reach a point. I've been doing this for 17 years now. You never reach a point where you're like, wow, it's perfect. It's constant work in progress. You constantly have new people coming in, and you have to work on it every day. So at Heads Up for Tails, we have actually created a culture code on which is tied back to our appraisals, to our promotions, to our rewards and recognition, to feedback. And it's an acronym which is called Huftians, and each of those acronyms stands for a value. Like H stands for honesty, which is non-negotiable, and all of them come with a value
Oh, wow, I
system
would love
related
to
to
know
it.
more. I would love to know more about
Sure.
this Haftian. That
Yes.
sounds amazing. But what is Haftian actually is? So
Yeah.
tell us more about
Sure.
it. And also, how do you ensure? You mentioned
Yeah.
about that this is the way you have created the culture
Yeah.
and how that, literally percolates in everything. That's
Yes.
what I'm hearing.
Yes.
On a
For
day-to-day
sure.
basis, is it? And
Absolutely.
appraisals and
Yes.
recognitions.
Yeah.
So how have you done it? Like if we go to the real basic
Yeah.
things here.
Right. I think you personally as a leader have to hold the culture piece personally, because only when it is important to you does it become important to everybody else. It can't be posters on your wall that you once sat down and created,
Yeah.
with a team, but then never really talked about it again. So at any time and at every place that we can bring it up, we do. Whether it comes to feedback conversations, whether it comes to town halls, whether it comes to Monday morning meetings, whether it comes to just the words that our managers are using, we
Wow.
have to keep going back to this to really make it come alive. And like I said, you never feel like it's
It's done.
perfectly there. You never feel like you've gotten it, but I've understood that that's just how it is, and it's continuous work in progress to take it down to the last person.
Wow. So constantly evolving.
Yes.
Constant. And what's Haftian? What are these
Huftians. Yes. So H stands for honesty. U
Okay.
stands for understanding our customers. And we often say that if you don't understand your customers, how can you serve them wholeheartedly? Right? F stands for frugality. So trying to do more with less.
Okay.
T stands for teamwork. What can we do without really coming together? And I tell the team it's about 1 plus 1 becoming an 11 and not a 2. And that is the magic of teamwork.
togetherness.
Like we can all learn and grow in a very powerful way if we collaborate the right way and have the right alignment. And I stands for improving constantly. Right? How are we thinking about what we're doing today versus what we were doing last month or even last week? Can we make small improvements, 1% improvements, so that it's not overwhelming, but it's constant work in progress? And of course, that means different things for different teams. A stands for accountability, right? Which is so important. How it's different from responsibility. It's about getting the job done no matter what, no excuses, no blame games, but really taking that ownership. And N stands for never accepting mediocrity. We don't want to play at average. I know that good is good, but we want to play at great, and we don't want to settle at good. So just trying to help the team also understand, what does average look like? What does great look like? How do we constantly strive to get there? And then S is one of my favorites actually. It stands for solutionaries, where we want everyone to be thinking solutions. So if you come with a problem on the table, no matter where you are, how junior, how senior, you have to bring solutions with it. And that just gives the power back to you, right? Whatever it may be, whether it's about your growth, whether it's about a problem you're facing, whether it's about the team, whether it's just about your area of expertise, we give the power back to you to say, okay, well, how do you believe you can solve this? And so our managers use these words, all the time. We talk about them in meetings, we share stories, we recognize and give shout outs when people are demonstrating
These values? Wow, that's amazing.
and that's the only way. But you have to be on it
On
every
it.
single day.
Every single day. Awesome. Awesome. You also mentioned, Rashi, about trusting.
Yes.
So, is it very natural for you to trust people? And how do you do that? And even when people might, not fulfill your expectations or might not be, in alignment with what you want.
Yeah.
What do you do then?
Yes, I do trust people. The very first moment that I meet them, if it's at work, if you enter the doors as a Haftian, I trust you, and the trust stays until broken. And sometimes, a few times, it has been broken, and that hurts, and it gets abused also, right? Trust does get abused. That hey, I'm trusted, and so I can perhaps
Right.
find shortcuts and,
Okay.
other things
Yes.
like that. But I think that there were many times in the journey when I was advised or I was tempted myself to say, okay, maybe this is not the right thing. This is not the right way to be. When I
Mm.
look at other leaders, other companies, conversations with them, it comes across as though I'm silly to be doing that sometimes, right?
Right.
And you were tempted to make policies around that and create boundaries around
Boundaries.
that. But I truly feel like perhaps that's a great way for us to know that those are not the people that we want in our company, right? Why
Mm.
should we have to change policies for few people who break trust versus saying no, you're not actually the right people for our company, and instead we're going to bring the people that are worthy of this trust, who know how to respect it, who know how to
Mm.
uphold it. And so it's constant work in progress, right? Just
Wow.
trying to
Yeah.
understand. But I have decided that, why should I change my belief system because it is broken and I'm hurt, and I do
Mm.
get hurt, and I get hurt
Mm.
quite often. But
Mm.
I've learned to find a mechanism around that to say, let me stay grounded in this, but
Mm.
change the other things around me that I can. So
Wonderful.
yeah.
That's so wonderful.
There's
That
no one right way, and it's
yeah,
messy,
yeah.
right? When it happens, it's confusing. You don't really know what, there's no one path to say,
Path.
okay,
I think
this
it's
is how it
about
should
carving the
be.
path as you go.
Yes, it
As you
is.
go,
It
isn't
is.
it? It
It
keeps
is.
evolving as you
Absolutely. And
mentioned.
I
Yeah.
think you get better at it. The more times that
Yes.
you face it,
Yeah.
you start understanding what to look for, what not to look for,
Mm.
how to
How
deal with
to?
it, how to cope with it, how to communicate it, and
Mm.
how to find your way. But you have to go through
Go
that
through
journey.
that. So what I'm
Yeah.
hearing is you're always looking for alignment with your value system.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yes.
hearing. And people, of course, get that. People
Yes.
feel that.
For sure.
Awesome.
No, I hope so.
Yeah. So are there any spiritual practices? Are there any kind of grounding or any kind of practices that you follow, Rashi? Because I know, knowing you, that you also hold these values very closely. So is there anything that helps you to keep you grounded and centered while going through, a lot, as you mentioned?
Of course, I think we all have to go back to center,
Yeah.
to be able to stay stable, calm,
Mm.
and doing our best. So I love to practice a morning routine that really centers and grounds me. And on different days it looks different, but basically I try to bring in something for my mind, my heart, my soul, and my body. And that could include, mine can include a little bit of reading, listening to a podcast, something that helps me learn, gets inspired, helps me think of a new way of thinking, builds curiosity. For soul, I do things like affirmations, prayer, meditation. It could be a guided meditation that I'll put on Spotify. It could just be connecting to my breath. And I love affirmations. I've only discovered them in the last year and a half, and I
Okay.
feel like they're so powerful. Like it really helps you
Hmm.
change your thinking. It helps you, change the mental chatter that's in your mind. And I absolutely love that, just doing that with a cup of chai in the morning.
Right.
And then there is heart, which is really about processing any emotions and letting go of, I don't want to carry any weight,
Hmm.
carry anything that's not serving me. So just spending a few minutes, even a few seconds, just checking in there and letting go, processing,
Hmm.
letting go. And then for my body, if it's a walk or little bit of stretches or some form of exercise, this is where I'm the laziest. The
Okay.
other three I'm much more disciplined
Okay.
about, and this is somewhere that I need to work harder and do better.
Right.
But yeah, I think by the end of the morning I'm really ready for the day,
Day.
just feeling like, okay, I can handle whatever comes my way and figure it
Hmm.
out.
Awesome. I remember you telling me, Rashi, that you love a slow paced life, yet you are a go getter.
Yes.
You are a very ambitious businesswoman, I know. So, how do you, is there a balance? I don't know. How do you do it? Also, what is your connection with the word hustle? Because that we talk a lot about in entrepreneurship, that you have to hustle. I am personally not,
Yeah.
it's not a favorite word for me at all. I am like, oh, I don't want to hustle. So I want to know, because for me, hustle seems like literally running and just being a go getter. So I love my own pace. How is it for you? I want to know.
Well, so I think it's I have a bit of both.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm very ambitious and I love hustle. I'm like, okay, let's just go get it done. Let's get our hands
Okay.
dirty, whatever it takes. Let's find a way. Let's do it quickly. And at the same time, like I am the types who will stop and smell the flowers, look at the sky, check the shape of the moon, what's going on. Like I really do both. I think it's about um it that is what brings me joy, and also hustle is what brings me joy. It makes me happy that okay, we have
Lovely.
something that we can find a way to create something, find a solution to a problem. I don't know, maybe it's a much more short term adrenaline feeling, and this is just the slower pace is who I really am. But I love a bit of both in my life. I feel like if it was only one over the other, then it would be too much or
Okay.
too slow or too
So,
fast.
very boring.
But yeah. So I
Yeah.
think
No, I love it
both,
because what I'm hearing, Rashi, is that for you, hustle is not about just chasing, rather, it's more about action. Okay, make things
Yes.
happen.
Yes.
And
Yes.
yet you're able to kind of
Yeah.
take a pause,
Yeah.
smell the flowers,
Yeah.
and connect with the nature. That's what I'm
Yeah.
hearing,
Yes,
right? And
absolutely.
it's like
Yeah.
having the best of the both worlds,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah, I never thought of it that way,
Yeah,
but,
it feels
but
like
I
that.
think yes,
It feels like
that's
that.
true.
Can you share some real life challenge where you have come to a situation, Rashi, where you have to make a decision? Okay. Do I go for the profit or do I stay true to my purpose? Has it ever happened? I'm just wondering.
So many times.
Yeah.
So many times. I mean, when you're on this journey, there is pressure to build, there is pressure to get your numbers right. And there are many times that there are proposals on the table on doing some things that which seem very natural for business. So for example, there are products that are sold by every pet store. I don't want to mention what and how, but they're sold by every pet store. They're very normal products. But I feel like as a company, because we know that they are not the best products, we don't want to keep them at our stores, and we don't. Now that means letting go of a lot of opportunity, a lot of business. But I feel like knowing what we know, we can't offer them to pets. We would never offer them to our own pets, and I don't think it's fair to ever keep them or sell them to customers. So there are many decisions like this, and I today at one point it wasn't so. When we were building, we were getting in new leaders to grow the business. I don't think that they fully understood where this was coming from. But today, Saloni, I can tell you, every single one of them will make that same choice. And that is what really makes me happy. I don't have to be there in a boardroom to say, or in an important meeting to say, it should be this and let go of that. I know for sure every one of my leaders will make the right decision, keeping pets at the heart of it all.
So beautiful to hear. So beautiful to hear. And when it comes to your personal professional life, what do you think of the balance while doing this? Because what I'm hearing, like if you're making tough decisions on a daily basis, it's a lot of mental exhaustion as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you're a mother, I know. So is there something called balance for you? Is there anything at all like balance? And how does it work for you?
I tried to chase balance for a very long time, for so many years, and I don't think I ever found it. And that really made me feel like, when you're chasing something and you can never catch it. And I think that I realized that for me, balance means just being able to be present where I'm needed. Whether I need to give 95% to work on a particular day or 100% to my child or home on another day. It's about being present where you're needed, right? And that balance can look like 95 and 5. It can look like 60-40. It can look like, anything. And I think that it's about just being able to make the choice to be present and not strive for it in the perfect sense where it's 50% home and 50% work. And I also always, I tell some friends and team members that the concept of work-life balance, I think also as a term is a little bit flawed. I think because we spend the best years of our best days at work. We spend the best days of our best years at work. And work is an important part of our life. It's not that there is work and then life starts outside, right?
Yeah.
Can we use our work to make the difference, live our life as best as possible? It is an important part of our life that actually funds a lot of our life outside of work. The ambitions we have, the goals we have, whether it could be, financial or material goals, like I want to buy a house, I want to make sure my parents are well looked after, whether it's I want to travel, whether it's I want to pursue hobbies. It gives us the resources to be able to pursue so much outside that as well. And I feel like we need to respect our work more, we need to honor it more, and we need to do it with whole heart. So this concept of work and work life balance also, I feel, could be redefined, that work is part of life. It's not separate from life.
No, I totally love it. And I fully resonate with you, Rashi. There was a long time when I was like, okay, how do I really, because balance used to be one of my highest spiritual values.
Yeah.
Like really balance,
Yeah.
authenticity, all this. And then one day I realized, you know what? I'm just going to be aligned with inner balance.
Yes.
If, as you said, just staying present. If I'm with my daughter, am I fully here or not?
Right.
If I'm at work, am I fully here or not?
Yes.
That's only
Yeah.
I'm going to
Yeah.
strive for.
Right.
And as you said, 90-10, whether it's whatever ratio, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
On different days, it's always
It's
going to be
different,
different.
right.
Yeah. Beautiful. And that also reminded me of something you said, which I absolutely loved, that guilt, that you don't do guilt. I want to hear this story because there have been a long time where I used to feel a lot of mommy guilt, and I come across as a coach both mothers and fathers. There's a daddy guilt as well, who feel so much guilt, especially entrepreneurs and busy professionals. And for a person like me, I love to go to spiritual retreats, for example, and long retreats, like meditation retreats for 10 days. And earlier it used to be like, oh my God, my children are, without mother and all that. But I knew that I'm a better person because of that.
Exactly.
So I started to feel better. But still, I don't think I've got it like where I can say like, yes, zero guilt. Tell me about it. How do you feel?
I was in the same boat. I really felt like that 1,000 kilo mom guilt all the time. And it's so hard because, for example, I didn't live with family. My daughter was alone with help at home, long working hours, come home, bringing work home, absolutely exhausted. And building a business is 100%. Having kids and being present to them is 100%. And how much can you actually do without like completely breaking yourself? And I carried it for a long time, every day trying to do the best, feeling overstretched, coming to breaking point. And then a few years ago, one of my friends, who is a very successful entrepreneur herself, told me that her mom, who's also a very successful entrepreneur, she said that my mom was a working mom my whole life. And I used to get 30 minutes at bedtime with her. And that's all I ever got for most of the week. But I never felt that my mom was not there. And she never carried guilt. And really, that just made me stop and think that I have a choice. I have a choice to not carry it. I never thought that I have a choice to not carry it,
Yeah.
And like, that was really an important 1 second light bulb moment when I said, okay, that's it. Like, I don't want to carry it either. Like, when I see their relationship, it is so nice. They have so much fun. They travel together. They're very close. And really, from that day, I have stopped carrying guilt. And it has changed my relationship with my daughter because I am there so much more present. I am so much lighter in my presence with her. We have so much more fun versus feeling like 1,000 kilos weighed down. And I really think that we don't even realize, but we are so powerful to be able to make decisions and choices for everything. The thoughts we think, the actions, what we want to feel, what we choose to do at every point. And it was a powerful moment. So no more guilt ever.
Wow. Applaud for that. And I love what you said that, yes, you felt so much lighter.
Yeah.
We don't
Yeah.
realize when we're carrying this energy, our children feel that
Of
energy.
course they do, for
Yeah.
sure.
And they learn as well
Yeah,
from
they
us how to
learn.
do it.
Yes, they do.
That's just so amazing. So amazing. A few other things I want to know from you is your purpose and what success means to you. So tell
Okay.
us.
Those are big
Big
questions.
questions. Yeah.
Purpose, I I don't know how to, I don't have a perfectly defined purpose, but I know it is definitely to do with animals, to use my voice. I've always been connected to animals since I was little. And I've also been super excited about entrepreneurship ever since I was little, like running small businesses since I was 5, 6, 7, like little ones. So I think definitely being able to use my voice more, and I need to do that a lot more. I feel like there's still a long way to go in helping just shift perspectives, or helping people even understand, say, even their pets at home more, because the more we know, the better that we can do. And definitely a lot of my purposes, at least in this life, is around that space. And when I think of success, and I think of it many times, I have been through many different chapters where success has meant just wholeheartedly making a positive impact. Then it's gone into small chapters of saying, okay, I really want my business to do XYZ, have these many stores, have these kind of numbers. But I've never felt in full alignment in those chapters. And even when I have reached the next milestone and the next milestone, it never feels like success. And so I think I have spent a little bit of time to understand what does it mean for me. And for me, I think it is about living in complete alignment with my higher self, and just leaving a positive impact in the world, however small, like just making that small positive difference. It means to me coming to that point of complete surrender, living with no anxiety, no stress, no worry about the future, and just knowing that and trusting completely that the universe has my back, and whatever is coming my way is for my growth. And just being able to be present in the moment, that is the ultimate success for me. That don't live in the future, don't live in the past, but now is when life is unfolding, and how can I keep bringing myself back to the now. And that's so hard,
Yeah, it is.
but I think that is my ultimate success.
What I'm hearing is that you you know that this alignment is ultimate success, and we
Yeah.
keep going in and out of it,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
keep bringing ourselves back to
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
So beautiful,
Yeah.
so beautiful. So, have you been in a rat race? What do you think of the rat race? And we all feel time to time that
Yeah.
yes, the rat race is there, especially in the business world.
Yes.
Yeah. What do
So
you?
much. Yes. We talked about this a few weeks ago, that
Yeah.
I really feel like I'm in it a lot. What is, like I said, when the noise is so much from the external world on how you define success, on where a business needs to go, what is the next milestone, how, I mean, it is really all about the rat race. And I think that, like I said, when I have reached any of those milestones, there's nothing that I have felt that has genuinely given me joy. There's sometimes not even time to celebrate it or pause and reflect. It's about, okay, great, we've reached here, but there are 50 fires to put out, and what's next?
Yeah.
Like, and so I think that I'm on that journey, but underneath that surface, I am that
Okay.
person who really loves the slow life and likes to pause and reflect and think about things, and has higher goals than numbers. And so, like, I'm just trying to find my way, that how do you live in a world where, this three-dimensional world, which is all about fame, success, money, and identity, and then there is a
Five.
five-dimensional world where there is so much more, where you are genuinely limitless, where there is no judgment, reality, time. Success is so different. How do you oscillate between those two worlds and yet do your best? I
That
don't know the way.
That's such a beautiful question. And it's a perfect question, Let me wear my coaching hat. Will you be open for a quick laser coaching moment,
Of
Rashi?
course,
Okay.
please.
I love your question. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's do this. Let's do
Okay.
this. I'm gonna be your coach.
Okay.
Okay. Right
Done.
here in the interview.
Yeah.
And let me coach you a little on this. What do you think when you think of the word rat race, Rashi? What is rat race? Simply.
Mindless chasing.
Tell me more.
It's a lot of what society has conditioned you to chase. And rat race, in fact, starts not just in business, but it starts in life, that this is how your path should be. You go to school, you go to college, you do your masters, you get a job, you keep growing in it, you get married, you must own a house or a car, you must have children, you must, it is just that constant pursuit
Yeah.
of specific paths that you have believed are success as per society, and it is chasing them without really thinking of, is it your path or is
Yeah.
it somebody else's path,
Yeah.
right? And is it genuinely giving you joy? And of course, all of those are big milestones that I mentioned. There's a lot of joy to be
Yeah.
achieved within those, but then you come into the smaller parts of achieving a lot of those, when it comes to growing financially and growing businesses. But there's so many people who are doing it unhappily, and that is what I feel is, you're really in the rat race where you wake up and you come to work and you do your work, but there's no fulfillment and no joy, and you keep looking for it your whole life, and then you still haven't really found it, because you're just chasing what you believe is, or what you've been conditioned to believe is success, but is it really for you? And it's just about that everyday hustle of like chase.
Chase. What I'm hearing is this, Rashi, that this is a mindless chase,
Yeah.
as if something will happen and that will make us happy and
Yes.
successful.
Yes.
So the happiness, success is
Yes.
out there. This is
Yes.
what I'm hearing when you're
Absolutely.
describing this rat race. And a lot of time we are not even happy at the present moment.
Yeah.
Even though we get a little bit of adrenaline rush when
Yes.
we achieve a milestone or some kind of success, right? So take a moment, maybe take a deep breath, Rashi, and maybe you can close your eyes if you feel like.
Sure.
How will you feel if you're actually out of rat race? How would that be, that sense of peace and bliss when you know, like, yeah, I'm just free of this,
Yeah.
chase and this, that hamster wheel.
Right.
Sometimes we feel
Absolutely.
when we think of rat race,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
How would that be?
I think you just feel in flow, right? It's your pace, it's your timing. We have to learn to honor that it can't be compared to anyone else's. And you just you're just connected to your true self so much more than the external noise and the world and the advice and milestones. I think it definitely feels like centering, grounding, alignment to do it your way.
So beautiful. Centering, grounding, and alignment. Yeah. Yeah. And when you think of both these things, if you put them on two sides, how do you relate? Where do you feel yourself right now?
I oscillate.
Yourself.
So while I try to do the centering every day, I get pulled onto the other side. Then I want to come back. Then I get pulled in. And I'm getting better at recognizing those patterns. I've been doing this for a long time. I'm really spending a lot of time on learning about myself, going inward. And so I've become a lot more conscious. But it is so easy to get pulled in, right? And so every time I'm pulled in, I have now built, after so many years of practicing, some amount of awareness, even if it's a very tiny degree, but just to say, okay, I need to go back. And I have also, through a lot of inner work, found that so much of what is happening is coming to grow me. Like all the rat race and the challenges and chasing and reaching and finding that, oh, actually there's not much here. All of this is teaching me that it helped me go on to a journey to find more. Right, and if it didn't happen like that, then I'd probably just still be there. But all these, and there have been many challenges which have really taken me out of comfort zone, but it is only through them that I have gone within to try to find answers. And through that inner work, I have come out so much stronger, so much braver, so much wiser, and really finding my way through it. So I think I'm grateful for it all, no matter how much it hurts in the moment. And I think that it's actually really fascinating when you start to think of, like, business and the rat race and the chase, and then so many other things.
Right.
And it's also like it has helped me find the other things, right? So I'm actually growing through this.
I love it.
I don't really know how to.
I love it. Now imagine, Rashi, what if it was not about just getting out of the rat race? Rather, what if the whole conundrum of this having this, dilemmas and getting pulled in by the numbers and the chasing, and then coming back home to your center and alignment? What if this all is the purpose of all this is your own evolution? As you said, that you are becoming more stronger, more aligned every time you are going in and out. So, what if business is just a spiritual path? And the whole purpose of this is who we become, rather than whether we are in the rat race, whether we are successful, whether we are out of rat race. And it's just about, elevating in consciousness.
That is so amazing, because many times when I think of business, and even in this conversation you would have seen, I'm doing it in two different sides. I'm feeling like I'm here, then I'm there. But like you said, and it's such a nice way to think about it, that can it be part of a larger whole where it is all way more interconnected than how we initially see it. And that's really powerful, because it suddenly gives business and even the rat race and the hustle and the chase a lot more meaning.
That's exactly what I thought.
Yeah, it suddenly makes it, not separate from the rest of your spiritual evolvement, but a very important part of it. Yeah.
So beautiful. It doesn't make the rat race the devil as well.
Yeah, exactly.
And the chasing as well.
Yeah.
It's about
Right.
the larger awareness in which everything is there.
Yeah. Thank you.
I
I love that. Thank you for helping me see it like that.
Thank you. Thank you for being a sport. I loved it. I loved it. And I absolutely love the way you are actually leading, your business, Rashi. So I would love to, wrap this session with this question. If there are entrepreneurs out there who are listening to us and they are struggling, maybe they really want to make a profitable business, they are ambitious like you are, and they wonder, like, how can they lead from their heart and soul? Is there any suggestion? I know there's no guideline. As you said, you just learned on the way.
Yeah.
It's a journey and constantly evolving, you mentioned. But is there any suggestions, anything that you would like to tell them to give them, hope and power?
Oh. I think that it's about trusting yourself and trusting the world. That when you are struggling, like we just talked about it, the struggle is coming to grow you. And can you see that struggle as opportunities? Can you see it as stepping stones to the next thing? Can you see it as something that is helping you build resilience, find strength? If it's a very tough struggle and it is really pushing you in a corner, the struggle has to be painful enough, tough enough for you to go inward and find the resilience and your strength and your power, right? So if it is, so the bigger the struggle, the more that, I think it's an offering from the universe to help you become a better version of yourself. And can we see it like that by reframing perspectives? Can we zoom out a little bit? We get so caught up in the problem. I also do. And then, but just with a lot of reflection. I've learned to pull myself out and see it in a different light. So I just want to say that, building that trust that the universe has your back, it's very powerful. And give all the worries to the universe back, but do
Lovely.
focus on what you can control. That's all that we can do. And then just trust that anything else, whether it's situations, whether it's people, whether it's obstacles, it's all coming to serve us and grow us.
Beautiful. That was so amazing, Rashi. I think I loved what you said, that bigger the struggle and challenge,
Yeah.
higher the evolution.
Yeah.
Higher the reward,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it's just so amazing to have this conversation where people can see that yes, struggles are not coming to like
Yeah.
defeat us or
Yeah.
make us feel bad,
Right.
rather just to help us grow.
Yeah.
I think this was a beautiful wrap of the session. Thank you so much, Rashi, for
Thank
this
you. Thank you, Dr.
wonderful
Saloni. Thank you
conversation.
for the work that you do. Thank you for helping so many coaches. Thank you for helping so many leaders and anyone in need. And I'm so glad to have this chat.
Thank you. Loved it. And I hope that all my listeners are also as smiling as big as I am smiling after listening to this beautiful heart-centered conversation with Rashi. And I would love to hear your feedback. Any questions you have for me or Rashi, we would love to answer that in the comment section. Subscribe, like, and share with as many entrepreneurs as you would like. And see you soon in the next episode of Quantum Shift. Bye for now.